welcome back, Guardians. So Heavy Finisher is a mod on your artifact you can unlock for 7 energy points on your class item, and it's been on my radar for quite a while now because I love heavy ammo, I love blowing shit up, but I want to know, is it worth me giving up all my resources for Heavy Finisher? It takes half of your super, but I'm thinking, well, I use Crown of Tempest, I get quite a bit of supers, I can stack those supercharged perks as well, I might can get a ton of heavy ammo and start wrecking shop. But first we have to test it out, and as you can see I have to remove all of this stuff just to put it on, so already I'm not satisfied with it. I'm like, damn, that's probably not going to be worth it in the long run, but let's go ahead and give it a fair good old try. So let's start it off. Test scenario 1, no reserves, just a stock Heavy Finisher, and my first experience was, okay, I got 3 rockets. Okay, it's not bad at all. Half a super, 3 rockets. It could come in handy. So then I put 1 reserve mod on, 1 rocket reserve. I do it again, and then I notice I get 4 rockets. So now I'm like, okay, let's see if this is just a coincidence or if I'm getting double drops at the same time on accident, something like that, you know. So I do it without anything on, just a 2.0 helmet, no reserves, and I get 1 rocket. Then I go back to my Crown of Tempest to see if maybe there's a glitch with 1.0 helmets, and that's why I got 3 first off or something like that. So I do it, and I notice that I get 1 rocket again. So now I'm convinced that I was just getting double the drops on those first 2 attempts. But when it comes to testing perks, never assume anything until you try it a million times. So I do it again, I notice that I only get 1 rocket, so I'll put another reserve back on. I'm like, okay, let's see if maybe reserves kick it in and I get more than 1 rocket, and I do. I actually get 2 rockets that time. I'm still not convinced. I want to see if maybe there's a random chance, or maybe every now and then you do get 4 rockets by having a reserve on and then 3 without a reserve, and I did. I got 4 rockets that time. So now I'm curious, maybe if I give my super up, a full charge super, it'll guarantee me 4 rockets. So I do it again, and I do. I get 4 rockets again. So is this just a random thing that's happening, or is it actually set a certain way? So I give my super up again with no reserves on, and I only get 1 rocket. So I know that it's not tied to me having a fully charged super. So I keep running it over and over to see how many times I actually get more than 1 drop. So I do it multiple times, you know, hour later or whatever, and I'm still getting 1 drops and 2 drops when I have reserves on, with the occasional 4 with reserves and occasional 3 without reserves. But then I was like, let me try it with LMGs. Maybe that'll explain a little more to this story and make a little more sense. So here's the first attempt with the LMG on, no reserves, no nothing, and I get 134 rounds. So I'm like, okay, maybe that was a double the drop, and maybe I'm not supposed to get that much, so I do it again. But this time I get 118 rounds. So I'm like, okay, so that's a ton more than what I'm getting with rockets. So maybe something's off here, so I do it again, and then I notice I get 51. So now I know I'm just getting a single drop, and the single drop is 51 because it's consecutive over and over. My first drop was 134, my second was 118, then I get 51s and 51s. Now I put a reserve on for LMG, and I noticed that with that 1 reserve, I get 56, which is kind of the same as getting 1 extra rocket, but not really. They kind of rip you off on LMGs, but I know that's just calculating that 1 reserve with a regular drop. So then I go to a grenade launcher, and I try it again, and it's getting 3 grenade launchers over and over again. I never get more than 3 ever. So I'm not getting any extra hidden drops occasionally when I have grenade launchers on. So then I realized it must be just a complete coincidence that I was getting more rockets those times. So it wasn't actually the Heavy Finisher giving me any ammo. That was just a random coincidence that was happening, because when I tried it with other guns, it didn't work the same way basically. When I put a sword on, I got 12. I kept getting 12 over and over and over and over again, so it wasn't giving me like extra drops or anything like that. Then I went and put 2 scavenger mods with 1 reserve on, because at this point I'm just confused, and I'm like, well, let me see if I get 4 rockets with just a regular finisher and those 2 scavs in reserve, and I do. But after a while it started to dawn on me, and I realized that I was actually just getting random heavy drops during my Heavy Finisher. So I was getting 2 from the reserve for Heavy Finisher, only 1 without a reserve, and then I was getting a natural 2 drop just by picking up heavy ammo by the game just feeding it to me basically. So I tried a 1.0 reserve to see if maybe I was getting like extra drops, like scavenger glitch or something like that, where it was allowing me to pick up 2 instead of 1, kind of like the fusion reserve was glitched before Shadowkeep. So that's pretty much it, man. I don't recommend using Heavy Finisher. There's probably some rare instance in the game where it would just make total sense, I'm sure, but on most of the gameplay I think that's just a huge waste of resources for the payout that it gives you. It doesn't grant you anything additional. I mean, 1 rocket or 2 rockets with a reserve. I didn't even test another reserve because I didn't have one, but it would probably give you 3 rockets. But either way, it's just a waste of your resources, and I don't recommend it, Guardian. So I would not use heavy finisher, and weighs 7 energy points. But you Guardians, take it easy, man. I appreciate you stopping by. Also, to let you know, lifetimecontrollers.com is doing a Halloween giveaway right now, so you can enter on their website. Go to the Halloween giveaway page, enter to win. All you got to do is pick a controller that you like. There's going to be a drawing on the 31st. You can win that controller and even custom models for $46.99. Huge deal and a lifetime warranty. You can also hit me up at teespring.com/Ristophilis if you want to support this channel, or paypal.me/Ristophilis, or join our Beast Squad. Become the ultimate supporter and beast. Guardians, I appreciate y'all stopping by. I'm about to get that impact induction video out next, and I'll see you all in the next video next time.
In space.